Hello and welcome to Coco the Creative. I'm Coco. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. This is my 2026 WIP parade. I'm so excited to be finally filming this video. Um, I'm probably going to have to film it in parts, and I've never done a WIP parade before, so please bear with me. I'm going to try to give you as much information as I can and get through all my WIPs without having to backtrack. So a little life update. Last time you saw me, I was about 9 months pregnant. I have since had my baby. She's actually laying right here. Her name is Lily. And so I may have to stop and start the video depending on how often she wakes up. I might have to come back on a different day in a new outfit and finish filming the video. So we're just going to do what we can. I've got my notes right here, and we're going to get into it. So let me tell you a little bit about me, because I know WIP parades are pretty popular, and it's the first time a lot of people are meeting me as a Flosstuber. So my name is Coco. I am an indie author and a stay-at-home mom. I am also a former high school English teacher. I started stitching about a year ago, around this time last year, actually. So I still feel very new to the craft. I got into cross stitching through my mother-in-law, who actually needle points. And I've dabbled in fiber arts before. I've done knitting and crochet, but cross stitch is the one thing that has like stuck with me and that I enjoy doing the most. It's kind of sparked the most joy in me, I guess you can say. And I use this channel to talk about my cross stitching projects, and as well as my other hobbies like the books that I'm reading, and also kind of my journey as an author every now and then. So a little bit about me as a stitcher. I don't give a lot of stats. I don't use like Pattern Keeper type apps and stuff like that. If you're lucky, you'll get the fabric count that I'm working on and what kind of thread I'm using. I try to list the names of the fabric and the origin of the pattern every time I talk about it, but sometimes I don't. But that's why you can go back and watch my old videos. I don't do, especially if there's a piece that I'm talking about consecutively, like multiple videos in a row, I'm talking about the same piece, I usually won't give the stats on that, or like the information on that particular piece over and over and over again. Where am I in my notes? I don't do large full coverage pieces, but I watch a lot of Flosstubers that do. I'm very interested to see how people take on these huge like hade pieces and stuff like that, but I myself don't do that. The large pieces that you will see me talk about are what I call Joy Autumn pieces. Joy Autumn is a store on Aliexpress that has a really specific line of like kawaii, Studio Ghibli-esque vignette type pieces. I kind of collect them and then I just work on them as I get to them. They're all on 9 count Aida, which I do not see anybody else on Flosstube stitching on 9 count Aida. I'm pretty sure it's for like kids to help them become better stitchers, but I like it. I think it's calming and it's easy on the eyes, especially at night. So yeah, my ultimate goal with these patterns is to turn them into fully finished quilted tapestries. And I do not quilt. My grandmother does. And I'm not going to ask her to do this, but I will probably go to a quilting shop and see if they can finish these tapestries when I'm done with them. The way I stitch is very different from how I approach the way I stitch these pieces is very different from how I approach the rest of my cross stitch collection. And I find that a lot of my viewers like kind of enjoy this different style of stitching, because no one else is really doing it. But yeah, that's kind of the special thing about me as a cross stitcher. I also have like, I guess you can say like more standard, like counted cross pieces. I have a bunch of stuff from Etsy that I'm working on. So yeah, other things about my style or the subject matter that I stitch, I do tend to gravitate towards a lot of like Eastern Asian motifs, in styles that are both traditional and modern, in like under the Asian umbrella of motifs. I like flowers. I also flowers in nature, especially flowers that are connected to me in some way. Orchids are a big one for me because I grow orchids in my home, and I love a good orchid. Yeah, so nature, especially ocean and aquatic life. I have quite a lot of like waterscape type pieces. Anything that's kind of green academia. So this is kind of like things that give off like a Victorian botanical literary vibe of some kind. I'll kind of point out the pieces in my collection that are like, this is what I consider like a green academia type of style. And then I just like stuff that's like serendipitous. Like the Joy Autumns are very, like, I wouldn't, I guess some people would describe them as cutesy, but I kind of just see them as like happy, joyful, serendipitous type pieces, and that's what I tend to gravitate towards. Okay, so I have, I believe, 15 WIPs total. Oh, and then another thing I wanted to talk about are my favorite Flosstubers. I want to kind of talk about that now. Okay, so these shout outs they don't cover everyone that I follow and everyone whose videos I watch. These are just the Flosstubers that I started following first and were early influences in like in my tastes as a stitcher, and kind of like, yeah, what things that where I could find my, like, how to stitch my interests and stuff like that. So the first one is In Stitches with Ebony. She's a full coverage stitcher from the UK. I do live vicariously through her full coverage because I'm not like a full coverage type stitcher myself. I feel like if I was to get into full coverage, I would pick the sort of pieces that she selects. She loves tigers, and I actually love when Flosstubers have like a specific theme. Like they like to stitch, like, there's this one stitcher, I can't remember her name, but she loves foxes, like stuff like that. So Ebony really likes tigers, and just like big cats in general. So like check her out if you have a chance. Her videos are very relaxing, and she also does like stitch alongs and stuff, or stitch with me's, not stitch alongs, stitch with me's. But yeah, she's a very like calming voice, and yeah, she's pretty cool. So Ebony from In Stitches with Ebony. The next Flosstuber whose videos I watch pretty much all the time is Crafty Gaming Jamie. If you are new to my channel, then if you're not new to my channel, then you've probably heard me talk about her before. I really like the way she has her Flosstube set up, because she talks about her cross stitch, but she also talks about her crocheting, and she talks about the games that she's interested in. If you heard a noise, that's my baby. I'm going to pause this and see what she needs. Okay, I'm back. She was just fussing. So let's see, where was I? She does things like So Jamie does like WIPCO and just does other kind of like gamified systems to organize her cross stitching projects and stuff like that to help her like get through her WIPs. And I've been thinking about trying WIPGO, but I think I'm going to try the method that I have now that I kind of set up myself. And I'm going to make a separate video about like my 2026 plans and how I'm going to approach my WIPs and stuff like that. I've already kind of started implementing it. Also, Crafty Jamie, she stitches a lot of her fandom, and I'm not in a ton of fandoms, but it's been fun to explore the ones that speak to me the most through cross stitch. I probably would have never done that if I hadn't seen her doing that same thing. So once again, shout out to Crafty Gaming Jamie, just opening my eyes to all that like a Flosstube channel can be. Yeah. And then my last major shout out before I do some honorable mentions is the Knitting Nurse. So based on the channel name, you would initially think that her channel is not about Flosstube, but it is. Her name's Jasmine, and she's a nurse who runs her channel like a podcast, where she talks about her knitting journey first, and then she follows it with cross stitch projects. Not only are her projects like amazing, but many of them are socially conscious and aim to protect and project marginalized groups of all kinds. And I would say that she like fearlessly does these color conversions, and through her channel, I kind of discovered my own love for dyed fabrics and dyed floss. And sometimes that's all you need to make a cross stitch pattern more personal to you. Sorry, my baby is grunting in the background. So yeah, check out her channel. Her knitting is out of this world too. So if you're into knitting, she makes some incredible stuff. And she gets like really technical with her process. So if you like all the nitty gritty details of like knitwear and stuff like that, she's definitely your person. She also spins and dyes her own yarn. Like it's crazy. Like she does a lot of really cool stuff. So yes, some honorable mentions. These are the channels that I kind of recently started following. And I'm still catching up on all these Flosstubers videos, but they are all wonderful people with their own unique tastes in cross stitch. So first there's Eli from Thick Threads, Lucy from Stitch to My Lou, Nikki from Nikki Stitchy, Jessica from LumiStitch, Jessica also has an Etsy shop where I've gotten some dyed fabric and some project bags from. There's Charlie from Stitching with Charlie, Manveer from Mama Bear Stitching, and lastly, Sadie Garita, who I just discovered, and she also does like a lot of pieces that I just personally like and gravitate towards. So yeah. Okay, now that I've done all this housekeeping, we can talk about the WIPs. All right, so we'll start with, I think, the most popular one on my channel, my underwater tapestry. Just checking on the baby. Okay. So I have decided these pieces are so big, I am not going to bring them on camera anymore. And like maybe for special situations like they're done or something like that, I'm just going to post pictures of like the last time I worked on them. So this is my underwater tapestry, the first Joy Autumn piece that I ever got. And I actually got it as a birthday present to myself. So it's like my first birthday stitch. My birthday is actually around the corner. I think it's this Friday. Yeah. Things have been so crazy with the baby. I have not been keeping track of when my birthday is coming up, but this was my first birthday stitch. Yeah. This kind of like encompasses everything that I love as a cross stitcher. It's nature, it's serendipitous, it's the ocean. It's just really fun and playful. But yeah, I will post a picture somewhere on here of my progress while I talk about this piece. So this is done on 9 count Aida. It is 85 by 100 centimeters, which is roughly about 33 by 40 inches. It is 3 strands over 1. I started this in February 2025 as a birthday stitch. Like I said, I got it off a website called Dreamstitch, but you can also, I think, find it in Aliexpress on the Joy Autumn store. And Joy Autumn is 2 words. Autumn actually is spelled without the N on the end. So it's spelled AUTUM, no N at the end. No N at the end. But yeah, disclaimer, some of these Joy Autumn pieces disappear off of the site and some of them never go away. I guess the most popular ones just stick around, but like, I guess the ones that weren't able to generate as much popularity, they just like, they come and go. Yeah, so this is my first Joy Autumn piece and I immediately fell in love with the process. I don't really like scroll frames or any kind of complicated setups. So I use the sewing method to work on this. And that's kind of where you like, you can either hold it in your hand and do it like this, or you can like pinch the fabric so that the holes are like very close to each other and do it like that. I do a combination of both. If I'm carrying the thread, I will just hold my hand under the fabric flat and do it like this so I can like guide the thread so that it doesn't pucker and bunch. But if I don't have to carry as much, I will pinch the thread and do it like that. And I just do it all in my lap. I don't ever put these on like a frame or anything like that. Let's see. I have more notes about this piece. Yeah, I started this in February, but I did not work last year. I did not work on it in the months of April, November, and December. But otherwise, I work on it every day, give or take. So you're looking at about 8 months worth of work. And I really want to finish this piece in 2026. And I have a strong confidence that I can do it. I don't think I'm going to pick up any like brand new large pieces for my birthday this year. I think I'm just going to continue working on this piece. I really enjoy working on it. I love this piece because it has all my favorite colors, which is anything on the blue-green spectrum. There are so many motifs you can focus on. Here, let me hold up the thing again. There's so many things you can focus on in this one. Sometimes I only work on a motif that I'm interested in. Like you can jump around. And that's really fun. And because it's stamped, I can like hop around and stuff without much issue. And I already said this, but yeah, when I'm finished with this piece, I'm going to take it to a quilting shop and see about getting it finished in like a quilting pattern for the border and for the back. And I also want to hang this in my daughter's room as like a tapestry, my middle daughter. And I actually have one picked out. I have a pattern picked out for my new baby, but that will be later. I'll talk about that much later from now. Okay. Okay. Number 2, we have a koi pond. I call it Box and Fox Koi because Box and Fox is the store on Etsy where I got it from, but its actual real name is Abstract 171. Okay, so you may have seen me talk about this from last year. I'm almost done with the first page. It is 14 count Aida 2/1. This is another one of my first pieces that I started at the beginning of 2025. I'm still on page 1 out of 4 pages. This is a very easy stitch. It's like semi full coverage. I get bored working on this because there's not that many colors. Like this is pretty much all the colors. There's one other orange that goes on the koi fish's spine. There's a lot of lily pads in this piece. And you know, after much thought and debate, I started this piece at the beginning of my journey, and there's a few pieces that I've let go since the beginning of my journey because I'm just not into, that's just not my style anymore. And this one I've been really on the fence about because I'm almost done with the first page and it looks really good, but I just don't want to do so much blue and green and monotonous stitching for 3 more pages. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this page and I'm just going to frame page 1. Also really don't like stitching on white Aida anymore. So yeah. And of course, I'm not going to start this over on like a different type of Aida, on a dyed Aida. I think I just want to finish this page 1 and I can just put that in like a small, if I can find a frame that will like do this. Yeah. So I think that's what how I'm going to finish that, which will give me like an easy finish for 2026. Baby is yawning. Okay. Next piece. This is another kind of like staple, and yeah, I did not iron these because otherwise it would have taken me forever to start filming this video. So I just had to kind of just start. I'm going to pause for just a second. All right, I'm back. I had to change my shirt because I was getting hot in my other one. So now I'm going to talk about my turtle Quaker. You may have seen me work on this during Sampler September. It's another one of my older pieces. But yeah, that is my progress so far. This is by Aliexpress embroidery. It is on 32 count. Zweigart linen. I do not remember the color, but it's like a gray. It's like a pale gray. It's 2/2 full cross. I am using DMC floss. If you're familiar with Aliexpress embroidery, you know that they have their own variegated floss. If you purchase exclusively through them and you like live in the States, it is, I don't know about everywhere else, but like it's really expensive to get their stuff shipped out. But I kind of liked the DMC floss for this project a little bit better anyway. So it worked out. I started this March of 2025, I believe, and I love this piece. Even though I have messed up several times, I've fixed, like, I messed up the border so many times. I've fixed that, but like, there's like little maybe fins on the turtles that I've messed up on that I'm not going back and fixing everything. Sometimes you just got to leave it as it is. So yeah, I'm almost done with the first page of this one. And I hope to get, I really want to get close to finishing this by the end of 2026. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the whole thing, but I really want to get close to finishing it. And this is one of the pieces I'm really excited to hang up in my home. And I'm going to put that back in the bag that it lives in currently, which is this cool bag from, I think it's actually on here, the 805 Stitcher. I have a couple of bags from that store on Etsy. I'm not going to explain all of my bags. Just this one actually has it like on there. So, okay. So my next piece is a stamped cross. And I would say that I do like an even number of stamped and counted cross pieces. This is called Sunflower in Vase. Now, I got this like off of Amazon when I first started. I don't have a lot done. I'm just going to show the back. That's as much as I've gotten done. So the table, a lot of the tablecloth, about half of the tablecloth I've gotten done. And then some of the vase, a little bit of flower, a little bit leaf here and there. So this is, like I said, it's stamped. It's 11 count Aida, 3 strands. I have grown sunflowers before, so This is kind of like my sunflower piece. I have another sunflower piece that's bigger, but I want to get this done first because I really want to hang it in my kitchen. Right now, I'm not working on this actively, but it will eventually get rotated back into my active WIPs. So yeah, that's sunflowers. Sunflower in vase. Okay. Okay, so we're kind of getting into like my active WIPs now. So this is a Tea Time sampler. Oh, and I just got this bag. I love this bag so much. It reminds me of like Gustav Klimt, his art style. He's the artist that did the Kiss. Yeah. So yeah, so this is my progress on Tea Time Sampler. So this is by Daily Pattern Post. It's on 28 count Zweigart Cashel linen, 2/2 full cross. I did a color conversion on the fabric and on the floss. I'm using DMC 739. I just had a lot of it laying around and I thought it popped really well on this darker fabric, so that's what I'm doing. The called for was like white Ada and a dark blue DMC, as you can see, and I'll post a picture of the original. Almost all of Daily Pattern Post samplers are charted in the same color on white Ada. And I got this sampler because I really love tea. You may have seen me drinking tea in my videos. I was actually drinking coffee earlier in this one because now that I'm not pregnant anymore, I can like drink coffee again. But I actually prefer tea. So aside from, yeah, like aquatic and nature stuff, this would be what I would consider like a green academia type of piece, especially since I did the conversions and stuff. I'm making it more green academia because it's got like that Victorian vibe with the tea and everything, and I'm putting it on like a darker green fabric and things like that. So yeah, I finished the first motif, and it will be a while before I get to some of the tea motifs, I can tell, but I just like work on this in the morning. It's kind of like my morning stitch. I work on this in the morning. I try to finish one cell when I do work on it. I try to just complete one cell per session. I don't get to work on this every day because, yeah, it does require me to like sit at my desk, have good lighting, concentrate, that sort of thing. But I will be excited when I get more of this done. I'm not going to say when I get the whole thing done because I think it's going to take a couple of years to do this. But when I get more of it done, I'm going to be excited. If I can fill up this section of my Nurge hoop by the end of the year, I will be happy with that. So that's my Tea Time sampler. Okay, not to be confused with another piece that I have just called Tea Time. This is Tea Time by Ink Circles. And here is another 805 Stitcher project bag. This has like Highland cows on it, and I just think they are so cute. They've got like, it looks like they all have little toupees. It's really funny. Okay, so you may be familiar with Ink Circles. It's a paper pattern. I got it off of, what is it called? 123 Stitch. And I don't know, I wouldn't consider this like a full-on WIP because I just kind of started it just to see how I felt stitching it. This is on a 30 count lilac linen by Weeks Dye Works. The original, which is not the original called for. The original called for was a 32 count pansy linen by Picture This Plus, but they didn't have that in stock, so I got this instead. I'm stitching it 2/2 full cross. Yeah, I put this one on hold because I don't want to work on 2 tea related pieces at once. I might rotate this in once I finish the first page, or the first 2 pages of my other tea time sampler. There's also another tea themed piece by Ink Circles called Moonbeam Tea, and I really like that one, and I really want to get like the fancy floss for that one. So it's on my like 1, 2, 3 stitch wish list, and it kind of gives, like, the other one kind of gives like Halloween vibes, so I might get that as like a little like Halloween gift to myself. I don't know. But I already have this and that other tea related stitch. Okay, pause. Okay, I'm back again. Okay, so this next one, this is number 7. Okay, back. My husband was able to take the baby off my hands. So hopefully I can get through the rest of this. But if I can't, that's okay. We'll just start and stop again. Okay, so this is number 7, WIP number 7, I believe. It's called Pumpkins. Got it off of off of Dreamstitch, and it is another stamped cross. It's on 11 count Aida. It calls for 3 strands, but I'm only using 2. This was my first intentional seasonal stitch, and I only worked on it during the month of September. It was kind of like my break from samplers. I don't really know why, but I did not work on it during the month of October or November. I do like this stitch. It is quite relaxing to work on, but it's just pumpkins. So it's a very simple type of stitch. I just like picked a pumpkin and just kind of worked on it. I think what I'm going to do, I think all this yellow is just like white, and I really don't want to stitch that much white. So I think what I'm going to do is just, because when you rinse everything off, it's going to be white at the end of the day, I'm just going to leave that unstitched and just focus on the pumpkins. Because in the original photo, like, as you can see, it's like a whitish gray. But yeah, I think I'm just going to do the pumpkins and leave all the yellow unstitched. I think that will actually look cool too. It kind of will look like they're like floating. But anyway, yeah, that's one of my seasonal stitches. I really want to be able to like put that up in my kitchen during the like fall months, kind of like my own little autumnal stitch, or my own little autumnal decorations that I didn't have to go buy or whatever. Okay, number 8. This is another one of my like currently, well, it was one of my active WIPs in January. I haven't really assessed which of my WIPs aside from Underwater Tapestry are active right now, because with the baby I just haven't been able to really stitch like that. Okay, so here we go. I'm almost done with this. I will definitely be finishing this in 2026. This is one of my smalls, but it comes from like a chart that has multiple frogs on it, but I'm going to only focus on doing one at a time, and they're going to be basically individual pieces. The actual name of this is called Modern 144, but I call it Strawberry Frogs. It is by Box and Fox on Etsy. So this is on 18 count hand-dyed Aida from Volcano Stitching. I don't know the name of this. I mean, I don't think it had a name. I don't think this particular fabric had a name, and it is sold out. I checked the website recently. It's not there anymore. So I'm stitching 2/1. And like I said, I'm basically sampling from the original and making these into their own separate smalls. I want to save at least one of these frogs for the Strawberry Moon Stitch Along. That happens like around the summertime, I believe. Yeah, this was like a project that I had started on White Ada, and then I stopped and I switched over to this. And like I said earlier, I very much prefer to stitch on dyed. If I have to stitch on Ada, I prefer stitching on like dyed Ada or like stamped or whatever, as opposed to just like straight, super stiff white Ada. Not my cup of tea anymore. Yeah, this is like a great, like relaxing, like taking a break from my other projects type of stitch. It's been really fun to work on. And I take it with me to a lot of places. Like I have the pattern on my phone, and there's not that many colors. Like these are not even all the colors for this frog. This is the colors for like the whole project. And as you can see, it's not that much. So yeah. And oh, and here's the bag that it came in. This one, let's see. This one is from GardenGroveStitchery. Just happens to be on there. Okay. This is another one from GardenGroveStitchery. It's all these little sushi pieces. Super cute. Okay. So these are my ornamental eggs. This is by Daily Pattern Post. I am going against the called for fabric in DMC once again. This fabric is Luna Moth, and it's 16 count, hand dyed by Bestitch Me. The floss is from the same company, and it's a hand dyed variegated floss called Dreary. I do not know if they still have it. I'm guessing no. I'm doing this 2/1. I've completed one egg so far on a different fabric. I've already showed it. I'm not showing off my finishes today. On a different fabric with a different floss. But I'm going to do the rest of the eggs on this floss in this fabric, or on this fabric with this floss, because yeah, I just kind of want them all to look the same. And I want to make these into Christmas ornaments eventually. It's going to happen one of these days. Another super easy stitch. I did the first one I finished in like a day. So if I wanted to, I could finish them very fast, but I just try not to force myself to do stuff like that. Okay, so this is another one of my recently active WIPs. I don't know if I'm going to put it away yet. I love this bag so much. I believe it's by LumiStitch, who is here on Flosstube. I mentioned her earlier. My daughter also really loves this bag. She's obsessed with donuts, like cute looking donuts. So we call this my Galaxy donut project bag. This is one of my fandom pieces. Oh my gosh, he looks so good. I haven't pulled him out in a while, but yeah. Here we go. This is Titus. If you are familiar with Final Fantasy, he is from Final Fantasy X, which is my favorite Final Fantasy game. So this pattern is by NeedleMinderLair, and I'm stitching it on 14 count Ada Glacier by Picture This Plus, 3/1. This is my first, like I said, it's my first fandom piece. Titus, okay, I'm literally reading my notes, even though I said all this stuff already. Yeah, let's see if there's anything else I have to say. I have two other Titus patterns from this shop. And yeah, it's a great, fun, small piece. Lots of confetti, especially in the hair, and like where he's holding the ball and stuff like that. But it's pretty straightforward. I would still say it's a very easy stitch. So yeah. I'm probably going to switch him out kind of soon. Okay, number 11. This bag I got from Goodwill. I don't even know what this even is, because it's not a project bag. Maybe it was a laptop bag or like a iPad bag or something at some point. I don't know. Okay, so this is kind of one of the, I guess, famous pieces. This is Blueberry J by JetX Stitch. I am stitching this on a 40 count Pickled Newcastle by Picture This Plus. Although the called for was a 40 count Malachite by Fiber on a Whim. And I prefer this because I can see it better. The Malachite was just a little bit too dark for me, although I do think it's like really pretty. So I am stitching this 1/2 full cross. This kind of marks a lot of firsts for me. First time stitching on this high count of fabric. First time stitching with one strand of floss. I love the colors in this stitch. They are just so, I feel like the way I should describe them is bursty. Like they feel like they just burst right off the fabric. And my little laptop camera is not really doing this any justice, but they're just so vibrant in person. But yeah. The pattern is pretty easy to follow. I'm still kind of getting used to following a paper pattern, but yeah, it's not that complicated. And I think my biggest struggle is the 40 count of it all. But I feel like I'm getting used to it. Just like at one point, 28 count felt extremely small to me, and now it doesn't. Now I can very comfortably stitch on it. Yeah, I think this is going to take me a lot longer than many of the other Flosstubers that are working on this, simply because I'm in no rush. I am not doing a stitch along, and I just kind of take my time with these more challenging pieces. But I feel like once I get to a certain point, kind of like with my turtle Quaker, once I got to a certain point, I was really comfortable with working faster on it, but we're still kind of in the early stages here. So I'm just going to take my time and have fun with it and try not to mess up too much. And this is kind of like my bird stitch. I really wanted to stitch a bird of some kind, and yeah, this is my bird. This is my blue jay. I do think I'm going to change the type of needle that I use, because I think one of the reasons why I'm struggling a little bit with stitching on this fabric is because my needle is too big. And I just ordered size 28 needles. Yeah, this is way bigger than that. I don't want to guess how big this needle is, but it's definitely not a 28. Now that I've stitched on 28 on a couple of my other like pieces that I consider them still in my stash, but I tried them out a little bit and I'm like, oh yeah, I think that new size will work a lot better on this. I'll probably have more fun on this with a 28 size needle. Okay, I'm about to run out of time on this, so I'm going to stop and start another recording. So I will be right back. Goodbye. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so this is going to be WIP number 12. Okay, I call this piece Santa Pandas. You can probably tell from the style, it is another Joy Autumn piece. Got it off of Aliexpress. It is on 9 count Aida, 70 by 90 centimeters, approximately 27.5 by 35 inches. and I'm using 3 strands. So I'm going to put up a picture of my progress on this one. Once again, I am not holding up these tapestries anymore. I'm just going to take pictures and show them to you because they're just too big for that. This one is not as big as my underwater one. So if you've been following my recent videos, you know this was a seasonal piece that I started in 2025 during the holiday season. I actually put away my underwater tapestry in order to work on this, like to focus only on one Joy Autumn at a time. As you can see, I kept my focus very concentrated in one area, and I really liked doing that. It was kind of different than stitching on the underwater one because it didn't have as much confetti, but there's actually a really nice balance of colors. So I've put this one away for now, but I'm definitely going to bring it back out in July to work on it for Christmas in July. And depending on how I feel, I'll work on it. I'll start working on it in November, like I did this year. So I worked on it pretty much a little bit in July, like a week in July in 2025. And then I worked on it all for the month of November and all for the month of December. And I got like a lot done. So I'm going to try to do that this year with the only difference is that I want to work on it for the entire month of July. So we'll just get more and more progress done. Okay. All right. Number 13. Here we go. This is another small, and it's a part of another set of smalls. Oop. Okay. Just making sure I didn't lose a needle. Okay. How did I... Okay, I'm trying to figure out which way is up and which way is down. Oh. This is hard to figure out. Okay. This is how it's supposed to be. I did at the bottom. Okay, so these are LaCroix smalls by the Stranded Stitch on Etsy. I got the pack of 14. This is on a 14 count Aida called Lagoon by LumiStitch. I'm using 2 strands. So when I'm just doing a bunch of these on the different like dyed fabric that I have, and my goal is to just like put them on like little hoops, like little embroidery type hoops, and give them away as gifts probably around the holiday season because we get together with my husband's family. And yeah, they measure out to about 2 by 4 inches. So they're great for like working on little scraps of fabric that you might have lying around. And they go really well. They go really fast. I love working on like this little bit of pop culture. I think this will look really cute when it's in like the little wooden hoops that I have. I could go show them to you, but I just don't want to I haven't even opened them. Like they're just all wrapped up still. So yeah, right now I'm working on the lemon flavor. If you want to comment below on your favorite flavor of LaCroix, I would love to hear it. Mine, I like the grapefruit, the pamplemousse. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it says like pamplemousse on there. And I like the lime, I like mango, I like beach plum, which is like one of their little seasonal flavors. I really like guava. The guava one is completely underrated. It's so good. But I've tried like almost all the flavors. Oh, I like the hibiscus one, but I can never find it. I only for some reason, I only find it when I'm in Georgia. But yeah, they're all pretty good. So what's your go-to LaCroix? So yeah, that's a fun little stitch. That's probably going to be next in my rotation because I just like worked on it a little bit. I took it out of my rotation. But I think I'm going to put it back in after I assess what I'm doing for February. Okay. Okay, 2 more. Okay, so this is a new WIP, and I think it's gonna stay paused for me for a long time. I don't see myself jumping back into it right away. Oh, I got way more done on this than I thought I did. But this is Froth and Bubble by Long Dog Samplers. And it's not your typical Long Dog Sampler like pattern. But that's kind of what I like about it. It's really colorful, and it has like a cool quote in there. It says, "Life is mostly froth and bubble. Two things stand like stone: kindness in another's trouble, courage in your own." I really like that quote. So this is done. This is my progress. This is done on a 28 count cast shell cream linen, 2/2. I've already messed up. It's okay though. I'm not changing it. I've had my eye on this pattern for a long time because I've wanted to try a long dog, but I didn't want to do a long one. I also really like this one because it's colorful. Yeah, I already said this, but I like the quote. And I actually did go with the gentle art threads instead of DMC. So, which I am enjoying. And they're already like kitted up and stuff for me. So that's nice. But yeah, I think it's going to be a while before I get back to that one because like this is kind of like in the realm of the Turtle Quakers, Blueberry J. Like it's a little bit more of a challenging piece. It requires a little more concentration. So I kind of don't want to work on the multiple of those types of pieces at one time until I get like a lot of progress done on one of them. So I think I want to get more progress done on the turtles before I get back to Blueberry J or Froth and Bubble. So we'll see. It also depends on how I'm feeling. Okay, last one. And this one is a small. This is actually a book bag. A book sack. I don't know. It came in a book box. It came in like a Crate Joy book subscription thing. Okay. So this is another fandom piece, but this is Bard from League of Legends by Stitched by Kendall on Etsy. She also has a YouTube. I don't know if it's the same name. I'm not sure, but I did find out about her Etsy shop because one of her YouTube videos popped up for me. So I'm doing this. I haven't gotten much done because I just wanted to try it out. But I think I am going to keep it in my WIPs because it's a small, and I feel like once I finish Titus Bubbles and Strawberry Frogs, I'm probably going to get back to this. So this is on 18 count. Dyed Ada from Oblong, Meow, which I really like that store. I kind of want to get more stuff from there. The fabric is called Mermaid Lagoon, and I think it's actually still in stock. I'm using 2 strands. And so this is kind of a little bit of, I was a little bit rebellious with this. I dug around in my old projects and found DMC to work on this with. And 3 of the colors I had matches for. And the rest, I just used ones that were close to the called for. And I think this Ada is perfect for this product because Bard is technically an alien. So there's galaxy vibes kind of going on here. I mean, mermaid vibes, but also you can interpret this as galaxy vibes, I feel like. And I don't play League of Legends anymore. But when I was playing League of Legends, I was playing with my husband. He kind of like dragged me into it, and I was playing support. And I almost always picked Bard, and yeah, he's just another one of these like serendipitous like characters that I just love. But I still really like Bard as a character, even though I don't play LOL anymore. And there's not a lot of like stuff. There's not a lot of fandom stuff with him on it. So whenever I do find something with Bard, I just automatically want to get it. So yeah, I'm excited to get back to working on this. But yeah. Okay. That's it. We got through everything. those are all of my WIPs. Whew. That was long. I'm going to make a video where I talk about my 2026 plans. It's kind of it's a lot for me to just like make these videos now that I have a newborn, so I don't know when I'm going to get to that, but I guess a little preview. Basically I plan to, and I already did this in the month of like January, so I kind of tried it out, but I'm narrowing my active WIP rotation to like 4 WIPs. And I think I gave there's like types of WIPs that I'm going to have. So I'll have one Joy Autumn going on at one time. So right now it's the underwater tapestry, and I'm not going to switch that out that much. I will have one like complicated, tricky, challenging type piece, however you want to frame it. I will allow myself one small and then one additional piece, which can be anything that I want. And that's kind of like the 4th one is like optional. So if I like feel already overwhelmed, then I'm not going to introduce a 4th piece. But like right now, like on my last rotation, the 4th piece was another small. So I think I had the underwater tapestry, my tea time sampler, Titus bubbles as my small, and then I had like strawberry frogs as my other small. So that was January. I think I'm going to switch out some stuff. I'm going to keep underwater tapestry. I think I might keep the tea time sampler too. And yeah, I think I'm going to switch out. I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of 2026 goals. But I want to make a video about that. So, and maybe talk about some other stuff, talk about the books that I started and like my new reading goals and stuff like that. And maybe some of my writing goals and things of that nature. But if you liked the video, then like the video, subscribe, and comment below what pieces you're excited for. And if you have any goals for 2026, I'd love to hear those too. Thank you so much for joining me and watching my videos and leaving comments. I really do like interacting with this community, and it's been super fun so far and relaxing. And yeah, I will see you next time, and I hope you have a good one. Bye.